Yo, peace, your man AJ McQueen. Look, shout out to AllHipHop.com for keeping it all hip hop always. Yes, Lord.
What's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekman, aka Jigsaw, here at One World Studios. All Hip Hop's in the building with none other than AJ McQueen.
Peace, peace, peace.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. It's a beautiful day in New York right now.
Yeah, definitely. Now you
Yeah.
moving and shaking a little bit. Talk about
Moving.
Yeah,
Man.
what's going on with you?
Right now we on a press run.
Yeah.
You know, just spreading the message, spreading the music, preparing for what's next. You know what I mean? The deluxe album, tour, and really just putting the people on notice. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, My Sorry I Was Distracted was critically acclaimed this year. One of the best albums of the year, definitely.
Thank you, brother.
For those that don't know, the album title, what had you distracted?
Man, I mean a lot of stuff. You know, with the album is like a tapestry of my life. So my childhood to being a young man to being a man. And so with that, you know, comes many distractions. So I started the album is an apology. You know what I mean? So starting with my mom, you know, apologize to my mom just for my adolescence. You know what I mean? And stressing her out, and then going through my life and just apologizing to every woman that I've been with, you know what I mean, and apologize to my inner child, you know what I mean. So all that whole album was just a apology, because you know distractions are gonna come. Some of it is random, some of it is intentional. If we be honest, you heard me. So it was just me apologizing for all those distractions.
I thought about that though. I was like, I don't really do too many apologies. You know, sometimes it's like, if it happened, that's where I was at that time.
Yeah.
I moved on, or I may regret it, but not necessarily apologize. What made you do like an apology album?
Cause for me, I feel like, you know, while I agree 100% on that. I feel like the other, because it's a humanity thing, you know what I mean. Like if we was hurt by ourselves, that's one thing, but we are mirrors of each other, you know what I'm saying. Like life is one big reflection, you know what I mean. So as I looked at my reflection through other people, because that's really what reflections are, you know what I'm saying. The mirror is an invention that was created by man.
Right.
The only true reflection is the reflection that you can see yourself through somebody else.
Right.
That's really the only real reflection. You know what I mean. The phone ain't gonna tell you what you want to. Ain't gonna show you yourself. The mirror ain't gonna show you. So as I've had these reflective moments and I'm looking at myself through people, I realize that, you know, I caused some cracks in that mirror. I caused some blemishes. You know what I mean. So as I'm evolving, as I'm freeing myself, and I feel like when you truly get free, and you truly heal, you truly evolve, it should be nothing to be able to be like, you know what, that was me. That wasn't you. Yeah. And you'd be surprised what they could do for the other person. So I agree 100% on that. And these apologies were given regardless if they were received. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I'm holding on to the acceptance part. It's of me just speaking from my throat chakra, my root chakra. You know what I'm saying, and just freeing myself. Yeah.
Has anyone given you feedback? What has come back?
Yeah, man. My mom, you know, the album healed us. Yeah. It healed us, brother. I ain't gonna lie, it healed us, man. It put us in a whole different space. You know, inadvertently, because that wasn't my intentions, but inadvertently, my mom was like, listen, and she expounded on parts of the album that I touched on. She went back and was like, look, you know what I mean, this is my why. And a lot of times we don't get that from our parents. We don't even get apologies from our parents. You know what I mean? 'Cause a lot of times it's like, look, I gave you birth. I ain't got to do all that. So for my mother, and some, you know, some relationships I had, definitely, you know, some did not accept or didn't even like, you know, me even touching on certain subjects. But I didn't do it in an attacking way. I did it for me. And inadvertently, everybody else, you know what I'm saying? But overall, good. Overall, people appreciate my authenticity. Even in hip hop, I've gotten a great response from the hip hop world, just on me reaching that level of vulnerability and transparency. And a lot of people saying, listen, you encouraged me to do the same. So, yeah.
All right. You talked about getting shot 2 times.
Yeah.
And how that impacted both your mom and your dad.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, growing up in West Side St. Louis, you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people think St. Louis is, you know, Nelly and St. Lunatics, you hear me? But St. Louis is one of the worst, one of the worst places to grow up in, especially for a young black male. So, I never like to present myself as I was as some beast in the streets and I was just out here wanting to harm people. Like, no, but I'm a survivor though. So everything that I was faced with, I had to deal with it as it came. And the streets, you know, just being right outside the screen door. You know what I mean? So getting active in the gang that I'm from, like I'm from 6400, so you're a part of that regardless if you want to get active or not. Yeah. But this is your hood, so you know, getting shot really impacted both of them because, you know, when you hear about it in the hood, but that close to home, being your child, and I'm my dad's only son, I'm my mama's only son. Right. You know what I mean? So that really impacted, and then even my sisters, because we had lost we lost a stepbrother on both sides, so I was the only boy left. You know what I mean? And the pain that I saw in my mother's eyes that night, I'll never forget it. Like it wasn't the bullets hurt. But it was really when I saw my mama's face, like I have a photographic, like that photo was in my brain, forever, and it was of that disappointment. So I recently did a tour stop in St. Louis, and to see my mom, to see that the smile and you know how proud she was, that I knew that I accomplished that mission, and I know that my dad is up above, you know, feeling the same way. Yeah.
That's dope. How was it for you navigating through the industry? The industry is tough, particularly if you have a certain walk or talk, almost like it's rigged a little bit. But you seem to be doing pretty well, but also making strides in the industry.
I feel like, I mean, it's when it's destined, it's destined. I believe that. But I also believe that there's agents in every institution that God put. You know what I'm saying? The Most High put agents, you know, people like yourself, you know, a few other people that are agents for change, agents for evolution, agents for healing, agents for the progression of, you know, black liberation. You know what I mean? So that's how I navigate it. I believe my prayer is that, you know, the Most High put me where I'm supposed to be and connect where I'm supposed to be connected with. You know what I mean? And I believe that that's what's been happening, you know, my whole life. And I know that it's because that's where I go first. I go to the source. You know what I mean? And then I sharpen my craft. Like I ain't just one of them people that out here just that think that it's magic and it's mechanics. Like no, you gotta be ready for the opportunity when it comes. You know what I mean? And honestly, just being good to people, you know, honoring your word, and executing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my team, we built infrastructure, so we know what we're looking for before we go out and look for it. And so making strategic partnerships, integrating vertically, you know what I mean, and being ready for the moment. I think that's what the key to my success has been so far.
One thing I always wanted to ask you was about your style. You always have a great sense of style.
Appreciate that.
How does that play a role into the artistry, or what goes into your thoughts when you put your outfit together, or do you have a stylist, or?
I mean, you know, I've never said this on camera. I used to go to, so after I got shot, I got sent away. I stayed with 6 different families. I lived out of a trash bag all throughout high school. When I finally got on my own, I didn't have the money. I was still, you know, impoverished at the time. So I used to go to thrift stores, you know what I mean? And I used to just get, like, whatever I could afford at the thrift store. Spent $6 here, you know, $12 here, what have you. And if I was really balling, a 20 ball, give me, you know what I'm saying, top and bottom. But I didn't have access to a lot of things, so I wore it as is. So sometimes them pants would flood. Sometimes it was oversized. Sometimes it was some Chucks and some dirty Converses or whatever. And I would put that on, and I would go about my way. But what I knew that I had, even though I didn't have the money, was I had the confidence. You heard me? Because it ain't what you wear, it's how you wear it. You know what I mean? So my style over time is really just minimalism. You know what I'm saying? It's minimalism. This all one piece or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And I just lean towards how I used to get by before. If it was big, if it was whatever, we made it work. You know, when we growing up, you heard me, these were called floods. You know what I mean? They used to talk. They used to talk about that. You heard me? So now it's just like I linked into that, and I let my confidence speak for whatever I have on. You know what I mean? Because back then, even now, like when I got $5 in my pocket or 5,000, my energy's the same. Yeah. My confidence is the same. I'm shake your hand the same way. Right. I'm walking the room the same way. You know what I mean? And I believe that that translates with whatever you put on. It ain't about the amount of money you spend on it. Ain't about the texture. The quality of the person is what makes the quality of the clothes. You know what I mean? And but I had somebody compliment my style not too long ago, and it was the first time I heard them actually put a title on it. And they was like, it's like they said you dress otherworldly. And I was at first I didn't know how to take it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what you mean by that? But they was like, nah, it just look like it ain't from, you know, this time, you know what I'm saying? It looked like it's somewhere else, and I just took that and linked more into it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I'm a Pac fan, you know what I mean? So my bandana was really like an ode to Pac. I've been wearing bandana since I was like 17. It used to be red. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we evolved those things, and then a lot of my inspirations, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, a lot of different things, and I don't know, I just made my own style out of it.
That's what's up. So since you mentioned Pac, give me. I don't think I've ever asked you your top 5 that are alive.
Ooh.
Your top 5.
Now.
If you want to make it simple, you could say your top 5 influences. Your top.
Okay,
5.
yeah.
Then we can simplify it. Or your top 5 most impactful artists.
Okay. So top 5, I'm gonna go with Bob Marley. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, me being a roster, like that's you know, that's number 1 for me. Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Tupac.
Okay.
Man, Lauryn Hill, you know what I'm saying? Miseducation just, you know, impacted me as a black man. And you say 5, right? I'm gonna go. It's a tie.
You know what I'm saying? We'll take a tie.
All right. It's Common.
Okay.
And Lil Wayne.
Common, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne. Okay.
That's me. And that's just who inspired. You know what I'm saying? My way of seeing the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got you. You have a song called STFU Kenny Flow.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. I was like,
so
it was a different vibration.
It was a different vibration. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, I'm from like, I like Kendrick Lamar a lot. You know what I'm saying? But while I'm a fan, I equally look at him like a peer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that's one of those things. And with that song, I gleaned from a few different of his of the songs when I was making a song, kind of like the rhyme pattern. You know what I mean? And that song is I don't make ego music, but that's an ego song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like and I'm conscious of when I make the ego song. Yeah. So that song STFU was me popping my shit. You know what I'm saying? And me going into that vein, but also it's a message in it if people listen to the actual song. But the style of flow, you know what I mean? I gleaned from Kenny, and I felt, you know, Kendrick Lamar, so I felt like it was only right to pay homage, you know what I mean, to Kendrick. 'Cause like I said, I'm a fan, but I believe we can spar.
Oh,
you know
okay,
what I'm saying,
okay.
for sure.
You think, you know, this is his year.
We can spar.
It's his year.
Yeah, we can spar. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't too many artists that I feel like because I make soul music, like people will, you know, I love the message. I get busy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when it's time for that, it's time for that. I'm a hip-hop head, you know what I mean? But my music has to have a message, so that's why I can't just, you know, you ain't gonna hurt too much ego and vain music from me because it gotta have a message. We gotta be taking people somewhere. But in that song, I was able to merge, you know what I'm saying? It's STFU, you know, when God talking, it's STFU. Yeah. You know, whenever you hear God talk. You know what I mean?
Off side question, do you think it's possible that Drake underestimated Kendrick because he felt like he was a conscious artist that may not be in tune?
Exactly.
Getting busy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the industry in itself. Like, you know, a lot of people, when you hear conscious, when you think soul, when you think spiritual, for whatever reason, the brain goes to, you can't. You hear me? Because I know where the source is, and I know where my downloads come from. You should revere me though. You know what I'm saying? Like in the hip hop, like you should respect my opinion. You should respect my approach to this craft. I definitely think Drake underestimated him, but then I also realized I think two things could be true. I think he underestimated him, but I also feel like he knew exactly what he was getting into. You know what I mean? I feel like that too because you can tell in the response records and how he whatever. It's like he knew he couldn't slap box with God.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's really what it is when our downloads come from the source, bro. You should just respect. And it's a lot of artists in the hip hop industry right now. They downloads come from the source, but it's just like because you in this industry, you gotta appease, you gotta play that game unless you want to build Rome on your own.
Right.
and that's what I'm choosing to do. I'm choosing to build it on my own because I don't want to change or water down the message.
Right.
And I believe that the world right now is tired of dying in every song, getting shot in every song, degrading every song. And while there's a duality there, I feel like, music needs liberation, and I know that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Your last album, Godbody, starts off with a Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Speech. Almost,
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
What not only what made you put that there, but also what kind of sparked your consciousness? Because there has to be a switch somewhere.
Yeah, well, my uncle, I grew up, my uncle is my OG, you know what I'm saying? Like, he spent 30 years in the pen, and in that time, he was taught knowledge. He was self-taught a lot, and then he was also approached with the knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge of Islam, knowledge of Moorish psychology, my knowledge of our nationality. So he would call me from prison, you know what I mean? And as a youth, just speak that into me. So I always been conscious. I grew up with pictures of Black Jesus and Black Adam and Eve. I ain't know until I came here and I look on somebody's wall and I'm like, who is that? But I knew that was wrong.
Yeah.
See, some people don't know that that's wrong. We just now, it's trendy, especially now.
Right.
I mean, and then, but my uncle, you know what I'm saying, more Scientology, Supreme Mathematics. Right. So I was raised on it. I detoured from it for a while. I ain't gonna lie. Like, in my 20s, what have you, because I felt like I needed to appease and just operate in the Western culture. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a rebel to it.
Right.
But the Most High pulled me back. You know what I'm saying, to that. So, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I mean, he's definitely a pioneer and a symbol of, the liberation as well. So it was only right for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let's talk about the deluxe album.
Yeah.
What can people expect from the deluxe album, and when can we get it?
Yeah, the deluxe album is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Sorry Mom's Distracted. Thank you for calling it one of the. It's a classic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a classic.
It's a seminal album.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we adding on to it. You know what I mean? So I got some amazing collaborations on there. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie D Smoke.
Yep.
Shout out to the homie Londrell. Who else? Susan Curl. She just won that Grammy with PJ Morton.
Okay.
So, and we just continuing to tell a story.
Right.
Continue to tell a message. We gonna drop this song in September for sure. For sure. I'm gonna give it to the people. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I sit with the music sometimes and I covet it. I ain't gonna hold you. And it's because I know, I don't know, I just like to pay attention to the times. And I know that I try to pray and know and project what's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
But we're gonna release in September. I ain't gonna hold on to it no more.
All right. It's already a pretty lengthy album. It's
is,
already almost an hour.
Yeah. And all in that one album, we done talked about mental health. We done talked about, like I say, your inner child. We done talked about relationships.
Right.
All in one album. And I believe that on that album, I showed my range. Because at first, STFU wasn't even going to get on there. Because, my team will tell you, like, I battle with ego music. I just battle with it coming from me, because it's a lot of people that feel like, because I'm from the streets, man, why don't you just talk about, you hear me? Because I can go there.
Right.
Clearly, I mean, when I made the song 1111 in St. Louis, I painted a picture of me getting shot from the street all the way to the hospital, all the way to after. Yeah. So that's how I'm going to talk about this street stuff. You hear me? Right. I don't want to talk about, all the other stuff. If we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it in a creative way. And if not, then we're not going to put it out.
Right.
So,
yeah. One line you mentioned, you say you're cursed with a blessing. I thought that was a powerful line. It resonated with me.
That's how I feel, bro. That's how I feel. Some things are a vow, some things are bestowed, right? Like sometimes we can make a vow to things. We can choose this, you know what I mean? But I definitely believe that I'm cursed with a blessing. Like there's times I've had inferiority complex and or imposter syndrome, and I've tried to run from this. You know what I mean? And even when I went this way, you know what I'm saying, the Most High pulled me back. You hear me? My convictions pulled me back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my sensitivities pulled me back.
Right.
And so sometimes I curiously look at other people's. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, they just living like it ain't they don't care about nothing. You hear me? And I'll be like, damn, I can't do that. Yeah. I can't. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a curse, because not many people can align with that. Your relationship's gonna take a hit on that. Yeah. When they feel like, damn, can you just accept where we at? Yeah. I can't do it. why you curse so much?
Right.
Why you so passionate? You hear me? And that's why I relate to Pac, because every interview, every piece of literature, everything I heard, I saw that passion. I felt that.
Right.
You know, that's why I relate to Marley, because it's that passion. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I'm cut of the same cloth. You know what I mean? And I studied the likes of Marcus Garvey. I studied the likes of, you know what I'm saying, Minister Louis Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad. Like, I studied Jesus. You know? Like, you know, they curve. They don't want to just pass through. So I do believe that that's a curse, because I can't shake it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I know that music is my calling, because this is the vehicle. I did a whole bunch of other stuff. I've been an activist, motivational speaker, author. But the vehicle, it didn't. I mean, it was cool, but in this music, I'm able to build, I'm able to liberate in a creative way, and put my music out there to the world and let it just work itself. You know what I mean? And I like it this way.
Nice. Now, your manager said you might have a few bars for us. So we were wondering if we could get a little 1632, whatever you feel.
Yeah, okay. Manager. Let me see what I got. Okay. I see. This, that, mental elevation. Been waiting on my moment, but sometimes I get impatient. Told the man in the mirror, I see you. Looking at myself in the mirror, I see through my own heart. If these walls could talk, they'll say I'm proud of you. You fought through them storms and fought through them thoughts that was clouding you. Yeah, they doubted you, but you beat the odds. They can't walk in your shoes, they can't defeat the God. Used to tip my toe in, now I'm diving in divinity. My life, they tried to jacket, now I'm tailored in serenity. Try to get under my sleeve, you just out of pocket. Tried to blackball the God, now I'm corner pocket. Now I'm corner office. Tried to corner me, then call a coroner. I keep the peace, but keep the peace if we warn. Look, this that education, real knowledge, fuck college, it's that liberation. Try to enslave me, I escaped the plantation, and I return to free the others. Fuck if master waiting, no more masquerading. This that retention, no sex, no masturbation. She tried to push my buttons, want me to rock her boat. My relationship with self was what I'm on. I let her float. Quote.
All right. AJ McQueen.
Something slight. That's super slight.
Yeah, that's we gonna take this to the next level next time you're in the city.
Yes, Lord.
We already got a location for a little, you know what I mean? A little some performance, whatever for the fans. Yeah. I missed the tour too, unfortunately. I forget exactly why, but I'm gonna catch you on one of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Stages.
For sure. Yes, Lord. Gratitude, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Peace.
AJ McQueen.